Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 5. In the last episode, I built the storage system that I probably should have built months and months and months ago. But anyhow, I finally built myself a main storage system. It's been great. I've been living out of it for a while. In this episode, I will continue building on the factory as I kind of described when I first built up the shell here by building the main entrance of the factory, which should go right about here. But before we get into the building project for today, I have quickly come back here to the big old clay farm project because I made a discovery recently. So while I was building this, I had noticed that there was a random crafting table over by this strangely square piece of land here. And I didn't think much about it at the time, but I recently was thinking about something else. Because a few months ago, there was a guy that we invited onto the server briefly, and hopefully I'll be able to get him on for at least a chunk of Season 6. But anyhow, and I remember he went somewhere along where I was planning on building my giant rail system. And I kind of just lost track of him because he hasn't logged on in a while. Well, it turns out that he logged out on this block right here. And this is his crafting table. And most likely he terraformed this into a block here. So yeah, he has a new neighbor if he ever logs back on this season. So, alright, starting off with what kind of looks like a balcony that is horribly mismanaged, because remember, this is a very old factory. This this is just currently what's leading to the doors here, but what was originally here back in the late 1800s when this was installed obviously has not been replaced. So there are boards that are rotting or just slowly becoming darker and darker, like especially this one. And the wooden supports are also, absorbing water, becoming rotten, and all that sort of stuff. And also some of the bark has peeled off for some of them. So, it's very old and creaky feeling. But yeah, this currently just looks like a balcony, so next we gotta add some stairs out in front of it. Stairs have been installed. Path has been constructed here, and including this little bridge to go over this cave that cut through the island here a little bit. Seriously, what kind of a fucking cave is this? It's so small. Anyhow, now stairs down to the water. Stairs have been installed, and the dock. That completes what I'm going to be doing on this side of the building for now. So yeah, now this place is a tad bit more, I guess, thematically storied. So back in the old 1800s, this is where ships carrying new workers for the factory or raw resources for the factory to use would dock and take away the dead bodies and the products from the factory. Yeah, and occasionally the living human, but that was a little bit rarer. Next up in this episode, I'm going to be actually building the living quarters, which are going to be on the roof somewhere around here, so I can, actually have like a proper bed to sleep in here instead of just using the one in my ender chest, because that one's not exactly stable in terms of respawns. So yeah, let's get into that. I don't really feel like a time-lapse was necessary for that, but you got up like a 30-second time-lapse for that. So yeah, this is where the crew quarters is going to be. It's just a building here on the roof, much smaller obviously than the factory here, but at the same time it doesn't need to be all that large because, the factory itself is pretty large, but, crew quarters don't need to be. However, while this place is pretty nice, the interior, it's currently just empty, and it's also not actually connected to down below, so we need to go build a staircase now to get up here. So yeah, a staircase, as you can see. Yeah, this is basically what I'm doing. I don't know what else I could do, maybe put in some parts, but that'd be kind of awkward. But yeah, for now I'm just using iron blocks underneath the deep slate stairs, and it's simple enough to be able to get up here. Now, as you can see, I've also added torches up here to light up this space a bit, because while we may not have factory lighting down here, I feel like I should actually do some personal, at least, lighting up here. So next up is we're going to be putting in all the bunks for the actual employees of this factory and make this, you know, look like living quarters. A lot of beds later, this room is effectively complete. So as you can see, there's a ton of bunk beds here, as obviously that's how the factory is going to be packaging all the employees, not giving them any special. And then at the very end here, there's effectively what is a kitchen, an area where they can, you know, store food in these cupboards. Obviously this was late 1800s, refrigerators did not exist back then, so we just have some cupboards to store whatever the heck would be stored there, and then we have a small furnace and crafting table for whatever else here, along with a bunch of counter space. And yeah, besides that, this room here is completed. So next up in this video, I am currently helping e23 build the golf course that he's building on this server this season, and currently that just means I'm doing a lot of excavating, but I thought while I'm doing this, I might as well turn this into content. So let's do a time lapse. That was only a small sliver of the digging I have been doing for this project here recently. Now, for those of you who don't know, for a little while now, e23 has been working on a golf course for some reason. I still don't know why, but he just kind of has here on the server. And he's actually already completed the front 9, which is what I'm flying over right now, and I was helping him work on the back 9 as the season, you know, it's gonna be over soon, and he kind of wants to finish this, so... And he's not doing much else on Minecraft-wise until he does finish it, so, you know, a little bit of help here and there would be nice. So, yeah, a good chunk of the course already exists, and this is being played with tridents, by the way, so I don't know why there's no water pool at the starting areas here, because that's kind of essential to... Or, tridents and ender pearls, sorry, is how this whole thing is being played with. Which one of these holes is which here? Okay. These holes get so close that it's actually a little bit confusing which hole is which. I mean, I think it loops back around there and then goes back around over here for the end of the front 9. Oh gosh, it's becoming nighttime. So then we can start flying through the back 9 here, which I think is a lot longer. And yeah, I think it was... Actually, no, so around here I did start digging out for the basically at the beginning of the back 9 here. Dug out this stuff here, and I think it was over... in this on the next hole here where I actually started recording. I really only did... Oh, it looks like Tyler's found out that I'm on now. Yeah, okay, so I think this hole here is where I was recording. I'm not entirely sure, though. And I recorded this segment here, along with... I did this section later because I didn't realize this was the only thing over here. I just kind of turned over this way and did this hole here... or this isn't even the whole hole, this is only a part of the hole. It then moves over to this part, which I also recorded. This is a really long hole, by the way. And there's the actual hole itself, so, like, all the way back in that part that I missed a little while ago, that's the start, and this is the end. This is an incredibly long hole. Oh, look, he's in spectator mode now. And then we got this next hole. This one's actually pretty short. Goes from this beach, this entire sand area here, this is entirely a beach, by the way. It seems weird, but this is a beach. Anyhow, yeah, that's very short. It's just from right there to right there. And then we get to the next one, which is also insanely long. So we go from here. I don't know why there's this green so close here, because we then go all the way across the river to this green, which is actually quite long. And I'm out of fireworks. I also haven't finished actually digging out this green yet, so that's kind of a thing. But then it kind of wraps on here to yet another area. Remind you, this stuff was all wooded and covered in forest over here, so I had to remove all the trees, which took a while. Clearly here, for this one, I'll have to remove an entire frickin' cliff. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, this one's also quite long. Look at all these trees that I'll have to go. Gosh, how long is this one? It's like the entire length of the course. Or the whole golf area. On one solid green across the river here. Okay, here's the hole. Gosh, that's long. It must be like a par 7 or something like that. Anyhow, golf anyhow. But you know, I feel like this is all like a great metaphor for golf. How environmentally destructive and annoying it is. And also just how incredibly boring it is, because yeah, it's incredibly boring. Oh look, a cave that he just didn't want to do something over. I don't know. And then we come around the back here where we're finally at a plains biome again, so it doesn't actually suck to deal with the creation of the course itself. And then back around to the start. But anyway, guys, I think that that's gonna have to be all for this episode. So I'm gonna have to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description, and I promise I'm working on it. And I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 5. Bye!